Yeah, this could be Xbox's Bud Light moment. Don't you just love when companies alienate their entire user base, like when Bud Light hired a transgender Dylan Mulvaney to dress up in woman face and crack open some beers and pretend like he's a real Bud Light man.
I got some Bud Lights for us. This month I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood.
Anyway, how'd that turn out for them? All the men who normally order Bud Light at a pub, at the bar, during a game said, no way, no thanks, I'm not drinking that piss anymore. That company doesn't give a crap about me as a loyal customer. They're much more interested in appeasing some woke liberal agenda.
But for some fans of the brand, it was no cause to celebrate.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch.
Well, this week, Xbox is having its Bud Light moment, alienating a massive amount of its customer user base. The head of Xbox Global Product Marketing is a woman by the name of Kelly Lombardi. Now, she decided it'd be a good idea to post a statement on X saying, quote, raise your hand if you're not a white man and you buy video games. And then she said, quote, no hate to white dudes. It's just another day in the gaming industry that minorities have to fight to prove they exist, end quote. Okay, that's like saying, let me be honest with you. You ever know when someone says that to you, let me be honest with you? You're a liar. You're just setting yourself up for a lie. So the fact that you have to say no hate to white dudes means you hate white dudes and you're trying to soften the blow by patronizing me. So that I'm just going to sit back and be a little soy boy and cross my arms and say, okay, that's fine. I'll still buy your Xbox systems. You don't like me, but that's okay. Be a little beta male and sort of sit there with my arms crossed. So you're patronizing me on top of hating me. So you hate that I play games on your service, on your Xbox Game Pass, or buy one of your Xbox systems. 71% of all gamers in the United States are white, and 52% of those are men. So you're saying that those customers are not important to you. We don't respect you white men, and white men are not welcome here at Xbox. That's exactly what you're saying. Elon Musk fired back on this today with this post. He said, quote, it should not be acceptable for any company in the gaming industry to be racist and sexist against, quote, white guys. But what if it's beyond that, though? But what if it's actually written into your company's ethos, part of the corporate handbook, to be against white people and men? Well, that's exactly what Xbox and Microsoft believe. What's the reason that you hate white guys so much? Because it's part of your company's ethos. In fact, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has vowed to hire people who are, quote, not white and not male. He is, of course, a non-white immigrant. So he gets to say that as a non-white immigrant that we have welcomed into our country. Non-white immigrant, he gets to hire people who are not white and not male. So when Satya Nadella took over Microsoft, 60% of Microsoft was white. I looked into the statistics on the history of Microsoft's demographics. 60% of Microsoft was white when he took over. It was already on the decline thanks to his predecessor, Steve Ballmer, who I interviewed back here in 2009, back when I was a young buck back then at the Windows 7 launch party. Back then, Ballmer was already targeting white people, reducing the number of white people being hired. Of course, he was under the influence of then Reverend Jesse Jackson, who was calling on big tech companies to reduce the number of white people they were hiring. So he, like a good steward of that, started doing it.
Reverend Jesse Jackson was in Seattle today and over the next few days to encourage more diversity in high-paying tech jobs. Jackson will go to a Microsoft shareholders meeting tomorrow in Bellevue to push the company to recruit more women and people of color.
So just to be clear, back in 2014, Microsoft's workforce was 60% white, but the United States of America is over 70% white. So Microsoft's workforce was already 10% less representative of the United States, but that's still too high under Satya Nadella's leadership.
You need to represent the world. So in some sense, Microsoft's own goals around representation are all about ensuring that we have a very diverse workforce.
They've managed to hire even fewer white people on purpose. This is a corporate policy. As of last year, Microsoft's workforce, according to the latest numbers, is down to just over 50% white people. So they're doing a remarkable job getting rid of white people at Microsoft and Xbox.
It's an appeal to all of the businesses really to integrate as much diversity into the workforce as possible. That's, I think, what you are doing.
There's no way we're going to achieve that without representing the world. So that means diversity when it comes to gender, diversity when it comes to ethnicity, diversity when it comes to skills.
So it's no wonder that the head of Xbox's global marketing would be anti-white guy. This is part of the company's ethos. So it's not just about her. This comes from the top. And she will not be punished for this. She won't be chastised. She probably actually will be promoted and even given a better job at Microsoft. So what then for us as consumers? Where do we stand? Do we stand for this type of racism? Imagine for a second if she had said this about black men or Latino men or women. It would be front page news, of course, but here it's totally ignored unless someone like Elon Musk tweets about it and we cover it, a few YouTubers maybe cover it, that's about it. So what do we do about this? How do we stop this type of corporate behavior, this type of BS? How about I stop playing games on your Xbox system in the same way that men said, you know what, we're not drinking your Bud Light anymore.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch.
Sorry, bye-bye. Or the same way that people said, oh, Tyson Chicken, you want to fire an entire group of Americans and replace them with illegal immigrants as your workforce?
Perry City leaders are scrambling to come up with solutions. Nearly 1,300 employees at the Tyson pork processing plant in Perry will lose their jobs this summer.
Guess what? We won't buy your Tyson Chicken anymore. How about that? We have to stand together with our wallets. So how about this? How about I stop playing games on your Xbox system? How about I stop subscribing to Xbox Game Pass right now, which is what I've done. The clearest way to send a signal to Xbox that we will not tolerate this type of anti-white racism is that we will not support your product or service, and we are canceling our Xbox Game Pass subscription. We will fight this stuff with our wallets. In the same way that I refuse to play games that want to shoehorn in all sorts of woke agenda items. I will not buy those games. When you ask me to punch in all sorts of different ways that I can use pronouns, I will not do it, and I will not buy your game. Here we go. I will not support Xbox Game Pass. I will cancel my subscription, and you can shove it. So that's how we fight. We fight this with our wallets. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Are you prepared to take a stand against this type of woke BS? Or are you going to continue to subscribe? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for subscribing to this channel. We have no woke agenda here. We just want to call BS on this stuff. And we want to play games. Keep your woke agenda away from my video games. We'll see you next time.